Hi, I'm Jessa.
And I'm Alex. And this is Jessa and Alex Watch.
Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, episodes 1 and 2. So guys, I have a confession to make. Alex came over to my house a couple of days ago with her little dog, and we sat and we watched The Lord of the Rings, and we did a reaction. And here is what happened. I had my mic muted the whole time. So we have no audio from our first watch of these videos. Maybe some of you are expert lip readers and would get joy out of watching us mime at you, but I think most of the audience would call a hard pass on that. So what we're doing is we're watching a little super clip of the 2 episodes that's going to hit some of the high points so that we can still react to those, share our thoughts. Next week, I promise you, we will all have our mics turned on properly. We will have a regular reaction.
Yes.
I will say I have definitely edited our videos before and said out loud a reaction and then watch myself say it on screen. So I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to get a reaction that's pretty close to what we gave in the first silent video, because we are nothing if not consistent in our feelings about the things that we watch.
And as someone who has been doing a podcast for the last maybe like 4 or 5 years, I will tell you, I recently went back and for nostalgia's sake, listened to our first episode, and all of my opinions are exactly the same. And as I am listening to Molly, my co-host, make arguments, I am saying counterpoints and in my brain, as you do with a podcast, and then I hear myself say it. So it doesn't mean I'm right, but it does mean that I am a person that clearly doesn't change. And if people tell you that they do, they're liars.
They're liars, guys. So what do we want to talk about before we watch the show?
I really enjoyed it. So like as an overall like ending to how I liked it the first time that we watched these 2 episodes, I think production value is beautiful. I think all of my first reaction to the first episode was pretty. I love Harfoot's pretty. I'm gonna save my major reactions for rewatching the things again.
Yes.
What about you, Jessica?
What do I want to say? Well, we talked about it, but we'll do again, that this technically takes place in the appendices of Lord of the Rings, because Amazon has the rights to the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, but not the Silmarillion. It's basically a part of Tolkien's history that is largely a big question mark. So they have lots of room to tell whatever story they want.
Her little swan.
Yeah, that'll be close. Yes, her swan. I left it in because I loved the swans.
Do you know why
in
a ship floats and a stone cannot?
Yeah.
The stone sees only downward.
I don't think that's scientifically sound.
Yes. We also did a lot of discussing about our use of metaphor. Yes. Oh my god, stunning.
So beautiful. And I love that we get to see the trees.
Yeah. Before they're burning.
Morgoth. It's so like a
Why would you do that to Buckby?
I mean, I kind of wish they had got the rights to the Silmarillion, because this looks like a real good story.
Left Middle Earth in
wow.
I think I said that was like the most beautiful tragedy shot.
Yeah.
Like, love the floating in the water, but obviously it's like something horrifying.
Right.
They called him
Sauron. But not Sauron the Deceiver yet.
Not quite.
For many elves,
he's yet to do his mastermind deception.
Yes.
Yes. And mind.
This is yes, we paid money to be in New Zealand again.
Galadriel said, I may be freezing and I may be at war, but I will be fashionable.
I will put brooches on my chainmail.
Thank you. That's an ugly, ugly motherfucker right there.
He needs a dentist. This situation.
Yeah, that's why he's so mad. He's got a really bad toothache.
Yeah.
We should never have come in here.
We leave soon enough. The order is given. We march at first light.
Discount Ron Weasley is not feeling it.
All right, fine. I will go alone. Last time we fought, I fought everyone and won by myself. So
you weren't
did
even
I
born
need
yet,
you
so.
anyway?
Look like a badger. Maybe a fox.
More likely a Harfoot.
Harfoot.
What are these little thingies on their little
Like
backies?
moose antlers, and I don't know why they're there, except they look really cool.
Yeah, like I can't tell if it's there to like ward off like other creatures like big prey. Oh, this is my favorite part of this episode.
Yes.
Look at them coming out of their little hiding spots.
I love the unroll. It's good.
It's
so good.
Incredible. Like character design and just
As always, you want to live where the hobbitses are.
Yeah. I think we discovered in the first time that we reacted to this that we were in fact little Harfoots.
Yes.
The Fates.
Everybody meet the Fates.
Oh no. Poppy.
Enchanting.
Poppy is
Spring
such a
rain.
great little staff.
Oh, the bones of
Harold Elrond.
I don't buy this man as Elrond.
I definitely don't buy him as Hugo Weaving. I will say that.
That's really what I mean when I say that. But I do think this actress is an incredible Galadriel.
Yeah.
That is spot on casting. Well, I guess
beautiful.
Everything's fine.
I half expected you to arrive caked in grime and mud.
This time frostbite and trolls.
Sir.
Do you know who I am?
She's a fashion girl.
This mark's very existence proves Sauron escaped.
There will be ample time later to discuss official matters.
Look at this.
Beautiful.
She put on her sparkle dress. Okay.
Okay. Oh my god.
Though Morgoth fell an age ago, some feared a new evil might arise from his shadow. So for centuries now, these soldiers have swept across crag and crevice, washing away the last
His little pageant mom, because he wrote the speech.
of a spoiled carcass.
You're doing great,
I love
sweetie.
that.
For they have proven beyond any doubt.
No, she has a great face,
our
and her
days
just
of
being like,
war are over.
Her intensity is just so Galadriel. Like with every single thing, her like intensity feeling, and then you can just see she's suppressing it under her face, but it's bubbling to the top.
Yeah.
Great performance. Ugh.
I think, now that I'm thinking of it, I think Galadriel was the one in the White Council who didn't want to trust Saruman. But the others are like, no, he should be the head. He's cool. And she was like, is he though?
The likeness of one fallen preserved upon a living thing.
Really
I suppose some
beautiful.
part of me always believed my rest would be here, with them. A gift I decided to refuse.
That is an epic grave, I must say.
His task is now mine.
It's at you talked about this when we were watching the first one, but that
seeing a sigil does not mean you're in
Galadriel's kind of
Sauron.
PTSD.
It is over. The evil is gone.
Then why is it not gone from in here?
Yeah, like this is not gonna solve
After all you have endured,
your grief.
Yeah.
Like
it is only natural to feel conflicted.
Conflicted?
I think She's
Evil
right
does not sleep
in that
around.
it is coming for them. So she is
Right.
correct in her instincts, but he is correct in that she is not doing it for the right reasons.
Right.
And that her killing herself to do so has nothing to do with protecting the elves and Middle Earth,
Right.
you know.
We're on there.
And this man is beautiful. So
Yes.
and this
Yes.
woman is stunning. So
Yes.
I don't know what you wanted me to do. I ship them, and it's correct too. And that man's
The
drunk.
lot you lump us in with died off
Racist.
1,000 years ago. When are you people gonna let the past go?
What do you mean by you people?
One day,
Yeah. He also called him
our
Night
true
Eaters.
king will return
Okay, see,
and
that is
pry
interesting.
us right out from under your pointy
I didn't really
boots.
catch that the first time we watched it. What does he mean, our true king? I don't think he's prophesying Aragorn. I don't.
Mm-mm.
It's sketch.
Oh, we love hand intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Are there healers among your kind?
There are. But we call them artificers. It is their labor instead to render hidden truths as works of beauty.
We heal naturally, so we don't need a healer. And she's like, well, we don't. So I actually have to do some like
My
medicine.
point is this. Only twice
When
in
are
known
we
history
going
has a
to
pairing between elves
New
and humans
Zealand?
even been attempted.
Tomorrow.
Is
And on
my
each
question.
I
occasion,
booked
it
a
ended in
flight. We
tragedy.
can write it off
It ended in
the
death.
channel. We're gonna go
Yes.
hang out and be hobbits together and
Beautiful.
live in a hobbit hole and request it in the comments so we can go. We just need to tell the IRS all the proof
What's
that we
one of
need
them
to,
doing here?
that this was a business trip.
Exactly.
Say what you wish to say.
I have said it
See,
already.
this is what I want my little wispies in the front
100
to look
times
like at all
over.
times.
In every way
Sorry,
but
that's not
words.
important.
That's not what she asks her. She wants you to use your words.
Where has she been grazing?
She wandered east a few days ago. Think she might have ate something.
She's not okay. Milky white
What
is
was that?
milky ink.
Yep, sure is.
How far east? She might have made it as far as Horden.
Not good.
Are you sure she wasn't just at the Dusty Renaissance Fair?
So
Because
tell
I've
me.
been blowing my nose with black
Is it true?
dust for hours.
Her Waldry caught herself and one of the pointies. Mighty sweet back of his well the other day. Maybe
Yeah,
that's why
so-
your father run off like he done.
My father didn't run off.
Then what happened to him?
Who
I don't
is
know,
your
and I
pop?
think that's a real question.
This is
for
the
the
real
show.
bounty.
I also have that question, racist man.
And like, where did the evil Sauron blade come from?
Watch it.
Why is it?
It came from Dad.
Yeah, I think
Papa
so.
left you a little gifty.
Mhm.
The skies are strange.
Horden.
Beautiful design of this show.
Oh, I love this shot. And then like the zooming in of all of the wardrobes, stunning work with these.
Yeah, art direction in this show is just phenomenal. They just gave them all of the money.
Exactly. I was about to say, I love it when you know that something is ridiculously expensive and then you also get to see the product of it, like with
Yes.
evidence.
Yes.
We haven't been talking a lot about it, but the score here,
Yeah.
the score everywhere, just stunning.
Gray rain curtain of this world goes aside. Golden silver glass. And then you see it.
A shooting star.
Oh.
forgot what I said here.
You liked that it linked everyone together.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting how like the elves going to heaven turns really creepy. Like it's sort of death culty.
Well,
Like, they're all
100%.
Yeah. The Entings.
Little baby Inton.
Love this. She has a great face.
Yes. Jump off that ship, girl. Incredible.
She's gone.
And she'll be in the ocean for the rest of the show.
Yes, unfortunately. Yep.
Okay, so this is interesting. I'm putting a pin in that
Yes.
for...
I have a lot of pins in that general... Yes.
And then I
That's
said,
episode
what if
1.
that man is Kyle XY?
I thought he might be Claire Danes.
Yes. 2 different refs.
yeah. Both of them falling to earth.
Well, we'll have to find out next week if he has a belly button, and we'll know for sure
You're right.
who it is.
We didn't really get a good glimpse. This is a long black space that I put in there.
Well, you knew we would need to talk about the first episode.
Absolutely.
I like this. I kind of like it, but it also kind of reminds me of Signs. Like it creeps me out, and I think it's really beautiful at the same time. And I like all the rocks and pebbles of different colors coming together.
Now, something you're going to notice is there's not a lot of Galadriel in the rest of this video. That's because her storyline in episode 2 is very boring.
Poppy!
And we didn't love it.
We did not. Galadriel swims for an episode was not on our bucket list.
It's not hot. Fine, it's not hot.
What is not hot? Fire cannot burn a dragon. That's what it means. I forgot she makes that crazy thing. He's just very Jesus metaphored in this like look. And so yeah, I don't know who this man is. I want him to be Gandalf.
Yeah, I definitely have questions. Which
and why, when he lays back
discuss them
down,
at length.
does he?
So that's not who we are. That's not who you are. I can't carry him alone.
Poppy
You
said,
can help me
"I'm
not."
dipping."
Which I can carry him for
More
you.
likely we're
she
safer
said.
in camp than we are out. But keep an eye out, the both of you. Malva's right.
Yes.
Yeah, but we only have one eye between the 3 of us, so
Big fuck.
how are we gonna do
Human.
that?
No way he'd be squished. What, elf, maybe? This stranger isn't a man, or an elf, or some baby eagle with a broken wing. That was one time. He's something else. If
Her
frog lasts a little
accents
too
are
long, a wheel gets stuck in a rut. Go, quick, go!
Going downhill, Gandalf, going downhill. But that's also the worst. Imagine doing all that work and then having them. I can't. It makes me sad. It makes me want to cry.
Music here reminds me a lot of Hook.
Which makes sense. They're like thematically similar.
Neverland.
I know it sounds strange, but somehow I just know it's important.
But
It's
is
like
it
there's
important
things
good
happen like
or important
I was
bad?
supposed to find him. Me.
Question.
That is the question.
No wounded,
Perhaps they're all fled.
perhaps.
I don't know what's going on in this storyline.
This was no ground shake. Someone dug this passage.
Something.
Did they kidnap all the people? Or did the people join?
True creation requires sacrifice. Morgoth found the Silmarils so beautiful.
How beautiful were they?
One that can host a forge, more powerful than any ever built, able to birth a flame as
Able
hot
to
as a dragon's
birth
tongue and as pure as starlight.
Some rings? You invested in some
Mayhap?
jewelry, some
You'll
jewelry
welcome us
making?
with open arms. Ram's horns blaring. Tables filled with salted pork and enough malt beer to fill the
Salted
idol.
pork.
What you want?
What you want?
We seek an audience with Prince
Can't get
Durin.
into the Emerald City.
No.
Good talk.
This is why we call our friends back.
I really appreciate that Bear McCreary kept the music in the same universe as the Howard Shore score. This is lovely. Getting to see Moria at its height is so cool.
I love it, and I love all their infrastructure. And I think everybody who worked on this show just clearly loved the Tolkien verse and loved the movies, and they have done a marriage of the two so
for
well, and just like an amazing ode to it, you know, in this, as well as like creating their own thing.
Yeah. I love all the designs for the dwarves. It's great.
Should the elf forfeit, he will be banished from all Dwarven lands.
Is this Merida's dad?
I like that this competition is like John Henry and the Railroad, basically.
Yes.
Just swinging hammers.
Please, who can crush rocks more?
Yeah.
To be fair, he's a little dude, so he makes it pretty far.
He does, for a little scholar.
Drawing some stars.
Mm-hmm.
Serious black.
See, the thing is that he seems destructive sometimes, which is why I have questions.
But it's almost like if he was Sauron, he doesn't know it. Like, it's like he's fated to be evil if he is, and he hasn't quite, like, it's almost like maybe when Sauron regenerates, he can't remember his past, and then suddenly he'll be reconnected with something, and he will, and he'll assume that form again. But I don't know the rules of that. Like, I have not read the appendices or even the books of Lord of the Rings, so I don't know if that makes any sense at all.
Because you did fall quite a long way. Anybody's head would be a bit higgledy-piggledy.
There's a belly button there.
I fell out of the tree once.
Higgledy-piggledy.
For a whole week I kept calling strawberries pigberries.
Oh, girl, you good? You good?
Fresh.
She's so cute. I love this actress.
Yeah, me too.
It's also fun because we haven't really had like children or young people like her in Lord of the Rings.
What is it?
It's true.
Before. So it's like an interesting energy to bring to the
sort
show.
of map?
Yeah.
It's
So
not
much happening.
He's drawing
Yeah.
No.
Did he make that happen?
Yeah.
Is he warning
Think about your
her? I
dots
don't-
and noops. I don't understand. I'm just a Harfoot.
She's so good. I'm just a Harfoot.
Friend.
Not food.
Fish are friends.
Wow. Blueberry indeed.
You saw him. Wouldn't put the weight of a leaf on that leg, much less pull a cart.
Mind your own fire, Malva.
Okay.
Mind your own fire, Malva.
I just love poppies. I love them so much. I can't.
Yeah.
I love the Harfoots. Everything was perfect.
Me too.
Then, no notes.
Yeah.
Then she did some
Just
laps in the
keep
ocean.
swimming. Yeah, I think we predicted she was gonna have gigantic shoulders.
Suppose you'll be sharing your rations with her then.
The tides of fate are flowing.
Well, if no one else
I was also doing a Viggo Mortensen impression, and that irritates me.
Like, we didn't need our bargain brand Viggo in the show, okay? If we didn't get the real thing, it was fine.
The worm.
Yeah.
We set out 2 weeks ago, sailing from
Need we
here.
tell her all our affairs?
Why not?
Hi, friend!
Be still!
Galadriel's face.
This ship doesn't look like it's,
Yeah.
That is right.
I'm not gonna last.
Ain't rude.
Thank you. Unnecessary.
I'm not a fortune teller, but I think karma's gonna get you on this one.
Yeah.
Aw, honey, it's okay.
Dog may bark at the moon,
Love the
but he cannot bring it down.
so true. I've been saying that all the time.
What does that mean?
Perhaps his lordship would be willing to escort me
No,
to
I
the
love
exit.
the feathers on his shoulders.
Yes. But
A
seriously,
dream to
like,
find your city so changed.
look at them.
Years will do that.
Has it
They
been
had an
only 20?
elevator already, guys.
They do. So advanced.
Durin, have I offended you?
To answer that one, we'd need a longer lift.
If you wish to discharge me without explanation, that is your choice.
Better feathery shanty tights.
But before squandering the best opportunity any dwarf princess had in a generation,
But I've lived an entire life in that time.
That's a great
One
point.
apology to Disa and you're off. No getting better acquainted.
understood.
Understood.
No! This cannot be Elrond, can it?
I fear so.
He came in charm on.
Uh-huh, sure did.
Durin didn't tell me you were coming.
Durin didn't know.
The scene makes me
You're
think so
staying
much
for
of my
dinner.
big
He's
fat Greek
leaving.
wedding.
He's staying.
The
Yes.
He's
like
leaving.
He's staying.
overwhelming friendliness.
Look at that.
I told you to stay out of my head.
I told you monsters to stay in bed. Oh, come on. Tear that down, wait. Come on.
Oh, I love
Make
this
yourself
scene.
comfortable,
I think it's so
please.
sweet. They're like past
Not
best
too comfortable.
friendship.
Sing to it properly. Each of those parts will reflect your song back to you. Anyway, we're unpacking our tools, and my team suddenly grows quiet. Then I see our prince. First, I thought it merely curious. That is, until he showed up at our next survey.
Always did have a talent for lurking.
Took weeks before he worked up the courage to
You're
court
not,
me
he's like,
proper.
watch it. We're not fixed yet.
Play coy now. But she was a moon-eyed girl in love from the moment we met.
Oh, they're saucy and I love them.
Yes.
Some called him a fool for believing it would grow in such darkness.
Where there is love, it is never truly dark. How could it not grow in a home like yours?
He says, I'm gonna win him back with that one. He's so proud of himself.
Tell you, we remain here at our peril. We must spread the word.
No, I will not have this gossip, Bronwyn. Sinland
All right.
is less dangerous than a wayward
Get
tongue without
eaten then.
proof.
Die. I don't know. Some people can't be helped.
Bloody mice.
Yeah,
Have you ever met a mouse?
it's a mouse. Mouses make that much noise.
This is a very normal reaction to mice.
Well, it's like torture, you know, like the sounds over and over again. But I don't.
We need to talk about Kevin, is all I'm saying. Okay. It's not good, Hot Elf. It's not good. No.
I don't want it. Don't go into the tighter hole.
Yeah. Drowning rats in the water now.
I could literally.
I guess rats can swim.
What's there? What's in that water?
Not good.
Yeah, so...
Theo?
This is why we should never have basements or things under our homes we can't access.
I love that they've made a horror creature of this single orc, because in the movie we're used to the orcs as like a horde of like, they're gonna kill you with the whole. We never just got like monster horror. I mean, we did,
This is
but
like
not like
spooky.
this. Yeah.
I don't like him is the thing, is that I don't like him. I mean, when they get it done, they get it done.
If there are any of you here who want to live, we make for the Elven Tower at first light.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't want to interrupt your praying, but...
It's a lantern. We use fireflies.
So weird about fire.
And he certainly chooses to mess up Poppy's lantern and not Eleanor's.
Love this though. It's so magical.
It is.
But he is a bearded old man in gray rags whispering to insects.
Well, that's what I mean. Like we were talking a lot about how it's the moth thing, right? Like
Right.
This music's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think we do this music. Well, it's about to turn, so
What does
never
that
mind.
mean? This is how we help him. I've never seen those stars before.
I want the best, and I want him to be leading them to the Shire on a fire.
Yeah.
Nori?
This music though.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah. It does take a little
questionable.
turny, doesn't it?
Tell me,
Little
do you
turny
think it's a
turn.
coincidence that an elf should just land on our doorstep now?
I'd sense it if you were hiding something.
Perhaps he sensed that it was you who was hiding something.
That I missed the
Elrond
first
is a
time.
friend. I trust him.
There can be no trust between hammer and rock. Eventually one or the other must surely break.
Okay, that one makes sense because we saw that the rock broke the hammer earlier.
So I'm guessing this is supposed to be like the Arkenstone. I don't
Hey,
know.
buddy, I wish you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Should have just left well enough alone, I believe. Sister, he made a blood pact with the devil. He made a blood pact with the devil. I saw him.
It's like reforming a blade.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm ready.
What was that? That was very dramatic. Yes,
That we've never seen him like that. He's had more emotion and, need I say, fire in his eyes.
Oh, I don't know who this is. Is it Círdan the Shipwright? Is that who it's supposed to be? Question mark? That was it. That was my super cut.
Well, it was good. We should do everything like that. It really kept us on task. I felt like very performative, like we had to like fit within the black box. I was like,
yeah, get it out. Okay, so the main thing obviously that we got to discuss is the stranger, because I've been thinking a lot about the characters since we watched, and like they're definitely making it seem like it's Gandalf. Now, it's a problem, like it doesn't actually fit the timeline. Gandalf doesn't actually come to Middle Earth for like 1,000 years, but they did say they were collapsing the timeline because otherwise like the human characters die off every episode, you know, and so they're just sort of squishing things together because otherwise we're gonna watch like 7 seasons of peace.
Right.
So that's fine. I don't care personally if Gandalf comes early. So the fact that he is buddying up to hobbits, which I think would be cool as kind of an explanation of why Gandalf is so connected to the hobbits, if they were kind of the first face he saw in Middle Earth, and the gray robes and the whispering to the insects and all of that, and even the fire connection, because Gandalf ends up connected to fire. That's his element. But he does have some darker stuff, which maybe it's just
also makes sense with Gandalf because he's just so powerful.
Yeah.
You know, and there's the whole thing about Gandalf like being a carrier of the ring, but not feeling like he should be, like he doesn't feel like he can be the carrier that carries it out. He says he'd be too powerful, you know? So like maybe we're showing that he is not this altruistic, perfect, like there is like always this darkness that has existed inside him that he has had to suppress, you know?
That he has the choice to be either. That could be. I think we'll see when it sounds like Poppy and Nori are going to take him to find those stars that he keeps drawing. So I'm feeling like if they head sort of northwest towards the Shire, then that will be good. If he's like, let's go southeast, that's where I'm being called. Not great.
Yeah, so we'll know. I do think it might be interesting because her Eleanor has her dad has that broken foot. He can't travel very far. I wonder how far from here the Shire is. Do you know that?
Well, they're like, it's a fair ways.
Okay, so maybe not. I was like, maybe that is like a sign that they are headed towards the Shire because like they can't move too far and they have to stop. And then when night comes, they see the constellation and it is the Shire where they rest.
I see. Could be.
But it's far away.
So I think that will take over at least the full season.
Of course.
Get there.
Yeah. I was saying at the end of the first episode, I really think that's an extremely well done opening and episode, and I loved the watching Comet Gandalf fly over all of our different characters that we are following as a link to them all together, as this is why we've started the story here. This is our inciting incident, our change. So I just think it was really good writing. It was like beautiful storytelling. It also though reminded me of the musical The Great Comet, where this is where I'm going to bring in my one fear for this show, and especially after watching episode 2, I question whether or not it has the longevity to be a multi-season TV show with like plot for each episode. Now I can see certainly an overarching plot but I don't know if it can be like 6 to 7 seasons of this without it being like, okay, these are just boring episodes where we're walking around, or for example, watching Galadriel swim to nowhere with a love interest we know is not her final one.
Yes, let's talk about that, because I barely included any of those clips in this just because we didn't like it. I think I made a prediction when we watched the first episode that we were just gonna start the next episode with Galadriel like dripping clothes walking on shore. I wish we'd done that, because her like swimming for an episode and then being on a raft and meeting a guy who's not Celeborn, so we know that relationship's not going anywhere. I don't care. I didn't need that.
Well, that's what I mean,
to me.
Right? Like, we have an overarching plot, so we know where Galadriel needs to end up by maybe the end of the season and certainly the end of the series. And so she's biding time, waiting to get to where she needs to be, because otherwise she'll get to places way faster than everyone else. Or like you were saying earlier, time to her moves so much slower than for all of our other human characters or even our dwarf characters. So, you know, or it takes her so long to do things that we don't have anything to do with her for a lot of it, which is hard for me, because I actually think making Galadriel your central character is an excellent choice. I love her as the hero of our story. I don't need her having fake love interests. That's not what I showed up for, and it's not what I love about Galadriel. I'm happy to see her meet her forever husband, but that's not what interests me about Lord of the Rings. And we already have like a really cute forbidden love with our human and elf, and I think that was enough romance for me, and I didn't need fake stuff, and that for me was rough. And it did aid in that fear of, do we have a problem of this is based on a bit where we have very limited information, so we're just trying to draw out the big moments, and we can't have fun actual plot for each episode or each season. But I mean, I'm still holding my breath. When you really think about it, especially having watched it as a supercut like this, that was really the only thing I didn't like about episode 2. And when I have a memory of episode 2, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that good. But then I'm like, was it not that good, or was I just frustrated at that one plot? To be fair, it like reminded me a lot of Shadow and Bone, and those scenes that I did not like on a boat. So I was like almost triggered. But that's neither here nor there.
Episode 2 unfortunately reminds me a bit of the Hobbit movies. It has a bit of that, like adding in some action scenes to try to pad the runtime problem. And I think we did talk when we first watched the episodes about what you were saying, concerns about like, okay, but what is the plot? I think loosely Poppy and Nori are going to help the stranger find his stars. Okay, when I'm assuming along that pathway, it will include helping him regain his memory, discover his purpose. Okay, the dwarves, it sounds like some of them are going to go help Celebrimbor build a giant forge, which will be used to forge the rings. But also they have a secret of their own, which possibly is the Arkenstone, ? A Silmaril? But also I know that they end up with rings themselves, obviously. So have they already been approached by Sauron the Deceiver, who I know is a shapeshifter and is going by a different name at this point? And then let's see, our normie couple, well, she has a possible like demon son. I don't know what's going on.
Well, that was not good. Whatever it is, it's not good.
It's not great. I I don't see great things for him. I saw some speculation that the king that snotty little brat in the pub mentioned returning might be one of the Nazgul, which would be, one of them receiving the ring. And then I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if our boy Theo is a rightful king and then he becomes the Witch King of Angmar?
Oh, that's very cool. And I honestly, I hope that they do that. That's good. Right?
That would be fun.
I really like that.
I also love the idea of inverting the return of the king from Lord of the Rings with being like returning everything to right and like goodness, and having it be the return of the evil king, the Damien, the Omen, we're having Satan's child, he has his father's eyes situation. I think that'd be really fun.
He has his father's eyes.
And then Galadriel, I don't know. Okay, she still says Sauron is around, and everybody's like, no, Granny, he's not. Go to heaven now. And she jumped off of a boat and swam back. So I guess she's gonna question mark. I don't know what our gal is doing.
But I have faith that she's gonna figure it out, okay? She is a woman on a vengeance mission.
Yeah.
So she's gonna do what she's gonna do, and she's gonna do it with one sword.
Yeah, but her brother's blade
or whatever.
I also though would love to see her learn her magic, because she's a powerful sorceress also. So if we see her like being like, ooh, I'm not just a fighter, I'm a witch, I would love that.
Yeah. And then and then we get like a light witch arc and a dark wizard arc.
Yes.
Yum 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 yum. I apologize. I've been saying that all weekend, like as like a joyful thing, like yum yum yum.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I agree. So. Anything else? I think we've touched. It's beautiful. You can see all of that $billion.
Like I do think that's insane, but at least it's not like watching Disney on Broadway where it's like you had all that money and this is what you produced.
Yeah.
Like at least I'm like, oh, you had all that money and this is what you did with it.
Exactly.
It is stunning.
There's a lot of stuff that we have watched that has a huge budget that doesn't look good. So
right. It's unique and it's gorgeous and it's extremely detailed. So yes. I'm glad to see that we're putting the big bucks to an artistic
for sure
pursuit.
Princess Disa would watch a sitcom spinoff, just her singing to rocks, wrangling her children, teasing her husband. Love.
They are adorable. Yeah, I love that family.
Alrighty, well, I think that's all of our thoughts for now. Next week we will have a normal reaction for you guys, because again, mics won't be muted. Share your thoughts down below. What are you excited to see? Do you think the stranger is Gandalf? I know some people said he could be one of the blue wizards. Personally, I think it's a lot of setup for a character that nobody knows. Yeah. That I just don't see that, but maybe, sure. So yeah, what are you looking forward to? Who's your favorite characters and plot lines and music and design and etc.? Let's talk about Middle Earth in the comments. And subscribe to our channel. Blah 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 blah. You've watched a YouTube video before. You know what we need you to do. Bye.
Bye.